Okay, to all the people who seem to think that we need advice that we don't to get a round pen, like we don't have a round pen, we have a round pen. We've always had a round pen. This is we usually have 2 or 3 round pens. That right now we have this one. It's 6 foot tall. It's connected. You can see it's connected to all of our pens. There's an aisle. There's a fence or a gate at the end of the aisle, so they can't get out. It's really great to funnel them into the round pen when they're ready. We get them leading and understanding some pressure and desensitizing and all those sorts of things in their pen, which is 24 by 24, which is plenty big enough, because we don't want them out here. We don't run them until they're exhausted and then train them. That's not how we do it. Everybody else does it differently, or some other people do it differently. That's on them. That's not how we do it. So this works for us. So you can kind of hold your opinions to yourself. That'd be great. Unless you trained a few hundred Mustangs, then I'll listen to you. Anywho, what we're working on right here is getting her to understand cues and stopping and going in this round pen. So I want her, when I point, I want her to go in that direction and not necessarily just move away from the flag. I also want her to learn walk, trot, lope cues on the ground, my verbal cues. And so here I'm kind of just telling her how to go that way. We've done it, like I said, in the pen, but this is a little different. She's like, oh my gosh. But she responds really nicely to the halter, which is great. She was like living in her manure there. That was kind of fun. It's a big manure patch. So I think this is when I first introduced loping. We don't lope until we come out here. And I don't care how many strides she does. I just want her to understand the cue. I lift my hand, I kiss, and then I do the flag. Hopefully she'll do it when I lift my hand or when I kiss. That's the goal. But I just want a stride. And if she does a couple strides, great. She doesn't have the stamina, the balance, or the relaxation to hold it for longer than that. And it's just an introduction. So you have to be really careful not to ask for too much. You don't want to be asking for a whole lot and then they get overwhelmed. She really struggles, especially on this side, with stepping up under herself. There, she did it right there. Good girl. She doesn't want to step that hind leg up under herself. Instead, she wants to bring that shoulder toward me. So you can see I'm kind of putting my hand up to block her. She wants to come into me, especially on this side. She wants to bring that shoulder into me and kind of push me off her and kind of block me on that side. So we're going to be working on that a lot. And we have been working on that a lot. This is just moving on from week 1. We just kept going. So I don't know, this is probably 6th session with her, maybe. So you could see I'm still working on trying to block that shoulder from running into me, and getting her to move that hind end. And she did really good there. And also starting to work my way back further, touching her and introducing the back up here. All I did was put a little pressure, and then I just kind of wiggled it back and forth, so she can kind of be like, ooh, I don't like that. How do I get off of that? And then now you can see she's super wicked smart. I just kind of picked it up there, and she already backed up. And so right here you can see, ooh, she shifts her weight back. I'm not really putting that much pressure. And that was great. So it was introduction to back up, because I needed that. I need to be able to back her up in order to do the next thing, which is I want her to move those shoulders. So I'm trying to teach her to follow the feel of that halter a little bit, but also move off this pressure. And what they tend to want to do is push into you, throw their head up over the top of yours. I don't care that she didn't cross over there, because it's the very first time she did it. I just care that she moved over. So try not to get wanting too many things at once when you're training a horse. You have to break it down. So she's kind of walking into me, but she's kind of getting the idea to move over. And later I can start to bring in, like right here, I get her to back up to show her, yes, you have to back away from me. It's not a walk into me thing, which is why I need that backup cue. But I'll do small little corrections like that, instead of expecting everything at once. So, I mean, that wasn't great, right? But it was just over, and then I have her back up off of me. And see how she keeps wanting to just kind of come in. She is a very clingy type of horse, so I have to keep reinforcing this boundary, which is going to make it so that I don't get run over. And she starts to learn to be a little more independent, which is healthier for her and me. So this is all just training. So I'm tapping her shoulder again. That was really nice. And she kind of stepped over, didn't really step forward, so we're getting somewhere. So I was happy with that. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. That was great. And this is going to translate under saddle really, really well when I need to turn around. And so Isidro was convinced that any mare in heat or hormonal needs to get sprayed down. She was kind of playing with her water trough, so that's what happened. He sprayed her down. So I don't know if it helps or not, but I'm not going to argue with him. It's her first time ever getting fly sprayed. She handled that really well, I thought. I didn't want to get buck wild with it. So you can see I'm always kind of blocking her because her go-to is to come into me instead of like kind of on this side. And the other side is to run away from me. So that's fun. There's a whole nother day. A lot of repetitive stuff, just repeating things over and over and over again. This kind of working them on the line. I want her to stay soft. I like how she's got a nice bend in her. I'm still teaching her how to stop. She wants to kind of walk in more than I like. I really like her to just kind of move that hind end over. And here she got confused, and I just kind of wait. Okay, there, you're going to go that way. Oh, okay. We're a little lost out there. So she's still really green, just getting it, trying to figure it out. I like this bend that she's having and how she's kind of carrying herself. That's really good. It's going to benefit us under saddle. Here I went to the whip in order to help me kind of deal with this. See how that she just took a step into me right there, and I'm just like, hey, back off. Really important, huge pet peeve of mine when so many clinics and I have people and their horses step into them all the time and they have no idea. And then they wonder why their foot gets stepped on and they get run over if the horse spooks. That's why, because you let them step into you all the time. So I kind of got on her a little bit there and said, okay, move your butt over. There we go. That was really nice. She didn't step into me and she just yielded that hind end. Introducing the pad. Goal this week is to get her first saddling. And so I was like, oh, let me see about this pad. I've already done the burlap sack a bunch with her. You saw the last video. And she was pretty darn good with this. I was really surprised. And pleasantly surprised and happy. And then this is the start of I put tons of stuff on them and let it fall off of them. Because I don't know about you, but when things fall, or if I fall, I don't want them kicking me in the head because they're spooked at me. So I teach them to be okay with things falling off. So she's really rather balanced. That was a great response, by the way. She didn't kick at it. That's fantastic. That was the first time it fell off. But she was really balanced, so it wasn't coming off. So I had to really ask her to go forward. And so this one, it just fell off there. She didn't even notice. I'm like, fantastic. So that's just the very beginning. I'm going to put all kinds of stuff up there and let it fall off of her. I am just starting today introducing eating out of my hand. She's like not too sure about it, but she's got the hang of it now. She's not too reactive. She's just like, I don't know, it tastes funny. I probably had something on my hand, to be fair. So I wanted to do where she comes onto this pad and then click and treat it. I love them to step on stuff and feel how weird it is. And walk over things and then do it in a calm, controlled way. Like she's really controlling herself here, and it's great. And then we took our first little walkabout. We went outside, walked around the arena, walked over these poles she's never seen before. I was really proud of her. She did really, really good. Just kind of walking around, just kind of relaxed and chill. You tell me a little smile on my face because I'm very happy. She's a really good girl. All right, this is, God, what day is this? Thursday? Maybe her 10th session or something like that. She's getting pretty good at getting caught. Took her halter off a few days ago. She kind of looks at me funny, but she's not bothered by me. She's bothered by the stuff that's in my hand. So I just kind of keep blocking her off. And I guess you're a good girl. So what I'm going to do there is click and treat. I haven't used pause reinforcement to catch her yet. We started feeding treats by hand the other day. And she's very nice about it. So I decided I'll start teaching her to be caught with some treats. So it's a little more incentive for her because she's still worried about the stuff that I have in my hand. So what I don't want her to do is get pushy with the food. So that's good. I'm going to grab some and put it. Food is here, away from my body. Here, away from my body. I'm going to guide her like that. There we go. And then let me see if I can put this halter on her now that she's got a little more incentive. See, she kind of just turned her head away and she's like, oh, maybe I need to move away. I am going to be using a technique that I do with, hold on. No, that's no food there. She's sniffing it. She's kind of funny that way. That made noise. This one has a ring on it. So as she gets a little more self-control with the food, I can do better with this. Right now, I just need to get it on her. Because she's very wiggly. This is her best she's been so far with the halter and haltering. I'm going to push her head that way. It's like, hey, you don't get food over here. This is where you get the food. So I'm using a technique. I'm going to ask her to come in and I'm going to desensitize her. I'm going to start with the rope. And if she leaves, so my problem with her is that she wants to leave all the time and move when I'm doing stuff. If she wants to leave, that's fine. She's just going to work. She's going to work. And at this early stage, I don't really care what pace she goes. I just want her to go in the right direction. She's never actually round penned before. I've just lunged her. So I'm going to work her out there for a little while. Normally I'd have like music playing in my pocket, and that would kind of gauge how long I would have her out there. I'd like the length of one song. If she leaves right away again, then it's the length of 2 songs, and then I'll bring her, ask her to stop. I'm going to walk up to her and desensitize her. So what I've noticed is when I am desensitizing her while she's on the line, she wants to move a lot. She wants to wiggle and move, and I can make her stop, but like mentally she's still moving, right? So what I'm going to attempt to do, and the goal, always attempt to do stuff. Usually, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and I might have to try something different, but this usually works, is I'm going to go ahead and, now she's at liberty, so I'm not telling her to stop. I'm going to let her leave, but she's going to work quite a bit. And she's not in the best shape, so it's a good time to do that. Because what I'd like to do is be able to walk up to her and desensitize her, walk up to her and touch her, walk up to her and do things without her mentally thinking she needs to leave. And I need her to mentally think she doesn't need to leave before I tie her. Because I really don't want to have this huge battle of pulling back and sitting back and all of that craziness. Sorry, I got distracted. All of that craziness, if I can prevent it by teaching her, to respond well to pressure, right? Like she knows if I pull on the halter, she must come forward or turn or whatever, follow that feel, follow that pressure to come up off of it. And also, so that mentally she knows that she doesn't have to run away from things. So she has less chance of wanting to pull back because she doesn't feel like she needs to run away when something scares her. Because I'm preventing pulling back and bolting before it ever needs to even occur. I'm going to just block that, open that door. She kind of comes to me. That's really good. She wants to leave again. That's fine. Unfortunately, this type of training, the first couple of times you do it, takes quite a long time. So when they cross canter like that, it's because they're worried. It's not necessarily a balance thing. So yeah, cross cantering is not always a balance issue. Often it is just braciness and worry. Because if they're cross cantering, they can go in any direction pretty easily. Gives them a wider base of support. All right, let's see if she'll want to stop. Oh, she keeps wanting to go. That's okay. Oh, good girl. She's like, no, maybe I don't want to. Let's help her find the right answer. The right answer is to stop. So she's very distracted by another horse right there. That's one of her issues. is being distracted by another horse. There we go. I'm going to actually walk away because I really don't want her hugged up on that fence. And she followed me, which is great. Good girl. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to swing the rope over her and we'll see what happens. She's at liberty, so she might take off on me. She might really freak out. I don't know. Mind you, I have done this, of course, with a halter on. I don't like to do everything at liberty without having a halter on and teaching them to give to pressure first, so they kind of know what the right answer is, and then they're not too stressed out when you do apply pressure. But that's just me. I use liberty more as a tool to fix things. Not every horse, I think, needs it. That was excellent. So she started chewing. That's what I'm rewarding. She started chewing. She's staying still. She started chewing. So one of the things I was running into, didn't record my session last night. One of the things I'm running into is that when I'm trying to touch her bum because I want to be able to brush that tail and put it in a tail back. And every time I get back, especially on the side that I was just on, if I get back to her butt area, she wants to walk in circles. She wants to move. She doesn't want to sit still. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can get this at liberty and touch her all over at liberty. And with some positive reinforcement to kind of help that. All right. So we are going to desensitize with this at liberty. I'm going to wait until she shows a sign of relaxation before I stop, because just being still is not a sign of relaxation. Now, if I did this and she left, then I would have to just start with her standing still, right? So right now she's frozen. She's sitting down a little bit. It's not what I want. Taking this time right now is going to pay off big time in the end. I'm not going to have to fix stuff later because I'm doing this now. I'm spending a lot of time doing this now. She's at least awake, but she's not showing signs of relaxation. She did do a big sigh. I probably could have used that. That was really good. There were some pellets there. Listening back, it doesn't seem to be recording my voice very well, so I'm using something different, see if that works. So this is one of those mistakes that everybody makes where I'm like, oh, I've only got 10 minutes. I'm going to go work with her and pick up her front feet. And this 10-15 minute session, because that's how much time I had, ended up being like, really long. So here we are way later, and I finally get the rope around her back. Like she was not having it. She was stomping her front feet so bad I couldn't hang onto the rope, so I kind of put it around her barrel, which is one technique to use, and she completely lost it and flipped out with that pressure around her barrel and slammed around her pen a little bit, so that was fun. And so I couldn't, she's super clever, so I could not, every time I tried to get this rope around her back leg, she would just step away. So I have her soft tied to that pole, which she did fantastic. I was really pleased with how she soft tied. But yeah, here's my little 10-15 minute session. It turned into like, I don't know, hour and a half or something. So yeah, don't make that mistake. If you have a time limit or something, like it's probably going to be a bigger session than you anticipate, especially when they're this early on with these Mustangs. So happy with that. She's not really a big kicker, so that's encouraging. I kind of want to get used to that and kind of relax her leg forward. And I don't have Isidore's freakishly long arms, so if I bend over and touch her hind legs, my head is right there. So here he comes to help me with his freakishly long arms that are fantastic and great for working horses. They're not freakishly long. They're just freakishly long for me because I'm short. But he kind of helped me out with taking the rope off that back foot, kind of how we wanted to do it. Again, super happy with how she soft tied. And then I kind of ended my session. You can see how late it is now. It was a long session. And thankfully I have some solar lights because, we're off grid. But there's some solar lights on that pen. So that was that. We got the front feet picked up and one hind foot. So lots to work on. So here is Isidro had worked with her the day before. I was at a clinic with Lelinda, and so he worked with her for me. And he hopped up on her bareback and did some of this desensitizing stuff. You can see he's a little bit more assertive than me with it, which is great. And then he also did this with her the day before, and she got pretty bronchi with this pressure here. She is not fond of pressure, cinch pressure, or pressure around her barrel. So it's definitely something that we're going to have to work on. There's always something. She's been kind of sailing through training, really pretty easy to work with. And so there always had to be something. So this is her thing. And then so I cut out a lot of the video because it was kind of long. This video is getting extremely long already. But he did the whole little Jeffries method a little bit here, where he just kind of lays on her and touching her all over. And of course he did everything he's doing on this side. He did it on the other side. And she's pretty cool with it. Was not that cool with this. This is her first saddling, and it's pretty exciting. I had to cut out some of it because it was traumatizing for me to watch. I'm certainly not sharing that. But she's okay. So, and she's gotten better. She kind of got stuck and stunned here. And maybe we should put the sound on. Yeah, that's why we don't have stirrups. Just gruntier in the first clip, but yeah, so she definitely has some opinions about the saddle. Yeah, sometimes they just do that. Her thing, she just doesn't like that feeling. So she got to hang out with the saddle for a little bit that day. And then you can see the next saddlings. This next school, as we head into week 3, she's going to get saddled every day. So we can help her kind of get over herself a little bit. So, and none of it's terrible. She still listens. We let them buck that first day, and then that's it. If they do any bucking, we shut that down right away. So you could see right here, my phone. Is it this one? I don't think so. Oh, good girl. So at one point at the end of this video, my phone dies because like right here I'm holding it, and then I forget what we're watering or something. I had to go check water, and so I just hung my phone up on the rail and walked away, and then it died. And it died right when he started to move and mess with the saddle some more, and then she exploded again. So this is fun. Lots of exciting stuff, but you can see she's starting to settle into it a little bit. Not terribly fond with how she's moving. She's really leaning in and dropping that shoulder, which is not good, but we're splitting hairs here because we are just trying to get her used to the saddle. And that's why we don't put stirrups on these first saddles, because if they really start to bronk and freak out and throw themselves on the ground, they can get hurt breaking on this stirrup. You can see she didn't care for that. So of course he goes back into it again, does it. And then we get some excitement, and then my phone dies. So sorry about that. There we go. So hope you enjoyed that. Still chipping away at this girl, kind of showing you all the different steps that we take on these big over horses.